Hey everybody, I am Cinnamon Cooney Art Sherpa, and today we're gonna be peaches. We're gonna be southern peaches. Basically, we're gonna paint some peaches in watercolor. I'm gonna do this at a very beginning level. I'm gonna explain every step of the process, the materials I'm using, because the idea of this series is that you start doing watercolors for yourself at home. On the mic is my husband, John.
Hi, guys.
He is tracking me with our cameras, switching the cameras back and forth, and also running the robotic camera to zoom in on the shots so you can see the brush action. Because again, the idea is that you create this at home. Let's go over the materials of what we're painting today. So I have a 140-pound paper here that I have cut 5.5 inches wide by 9 inches tall. Basically, I just cut a block of paper in half and I've taped it down to help prevent buckling. I've got the core menu set here, which has lemon yellow, nickel azo yellow. We've got Peril red light, Peril red medium, quinacridone magenta, dox purple, ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, sap green. I think I always forget this one is I never use it as Azo color, and that's another kind of nickel Azo color. And then I've got burnt sienna and Payne's gray. I'll make sure it's in the description if I use it. All right. First, I'm going to sketch in lightly my design. Listen, I will provide a traceable because I understand sometimes when you start painting, you're not really drawing yet. And I don't think drawing should be a barrier to what you do, even though it can be nice. But for those of you guys that are also working your drawing, I like to demo that out sometimes. I'm making the stem first to my peach, and I'm creating my leaf shape. I'm bringing both these sides up, and then at the top, I'm going to go a little dip and dip up. And then let's bend the leaf. That's how we're going to do the bent leaf right there. That's going to give us a nice bent leaf. I've got the veining down there. Now, the wonderful thing about a peach is they're mostly kind of roundish. And you're like, well, I think I could handle a circle. I think you can handle a circle probably too. And if you can't, just know sometimes I have trouble freehanding a circle. Circles are hard. I'm going to go ahead and create a little dip in the peach that you can see here. It's like, I like to call it the peach tushy. They look a little bit like a round pink tushy, John.
Hmm.
And they're fuzzy, so that's sort of funny. I'm sure they don't mean to be. And then I think we should have, I'm going to put a little stem down here maybe, and then a little stem of leaves this way, and maybe a little stem of leaves this way, and we can have something there. And I've just given myself enough sketch to keep track of all of that. I'm going to wet or prime my little palette of colors right here with my water. I'm going to start out with my number 8 round, and I'm going to get the front side of my peach, my pretty peach. And I'm just going to get this all wet. I just have a clean brush and water, and you can see I'm getting this shiny wet. And I'm going to go ahead and get a little of my nickel azo. I'm going to just kiss some of the paper with that. That's right, I'm going to kiss that paper with the brush. I just rinsed out a little bit to pull off some of the pigment. Right, and I'm going to come on the bottom side. So I didn't go all the way to top. I'm going to come on the bottom side with some of this yellow. And then I'm going to take a little of my quinacridone and mix it in with my nickel azo. And that's going to help me get some of those peachy peach colors. You can even add a little of the Peril red. I'm just trying to find a little spot where I can make my peach colors. So peach is an orange color mixed with a little bit of white. It's like a pink that we warm up with yellow. It's really what peach is. I'm going to darken this little spot right here. I think it's nice to leave some areas sort of open. And I'm going to go ahead and get a little crazy with my quinacridone. Just because it's peaches and I can be playful with my peach. Be playful with your peach. And you'll notice I'm darkening the little tushy. Let me darken my tushy. You can go ahead and get a little Peril there. Sometimes I'll get my little yum yellow and work it in there. I'm just peaching up these colors, right?
Yeah.
Peachy, peachy. You ever hear someone say they're just peachy? How you doing? I'm just peachy.
I think it's a southern thing.
It is. We have a lot of things that are southern things.
A lot of peaches.
A lot of peaches in the South. And they're all peachy. And they want to
All
bless your heart.
all those southern peaches.
They are. They are. Nowhere else in the South can a woman be as mad at you and still be so polite about it.
And then, of course, there's peach pie,
Oh, and
peach
cobbler.
cobbler.
Well, this has become a cooking show. I am darkening the edge. You can see me grabbing little bits of the quinacridone, just sort of pinking up this edge.
As a vegetarian, I have a great deal of respect for the peach.
He does like him a peach. I'm going to come over here on the dry. Go ahead and just take some of my peach color and make sure my little peach bum bum has a little darkening right here. I know I'm going to come back and glaze and blend in later, but I just want to get this now. I'm going to leave the spot where it would touch the red for the moment unpainted. I'm also going to leave a little barrier at the stem. It'll be darkening in a little while. Let's get some of our quinacridone. Just having some fun with these colors, like you can have. And I think I'm going to go ahead and get a little of my nickel azo and just come in here like shockingly, like right there. See how that pushes that out? I love that. And I'll get as close as I can without blending too much. And the reason is because I'm trying to maintain this dark line. I don't want to lose it. So leaving that as it is, and now you can see the dark line. I'm going to shake this out, and I'm going to go ahead and just get my burnt sienna. And then I'm going to come back from my peach, and I'm going to make a little tree stem. See how we do? A little rough tree stem. It's going to be the thickest right there. You can always grab more pigment if you want to make a nice little bit of relaxed stem. I'm going to bring a little of this up, very, very light as I come forward. I'll go here, and I think I'll give myself a nice little leaf there, and maybe this part of the stem here could break off and have a little leaf. And right here, leafy. I like to space out my leaves, and the reason being that I do that is because a tree will do that to make sure that it's maximizing its sun exposure. And if I don't reflect that in my painting, well, that would be super duper strange. Again, light there. You can do it. You can ignore it. It's just sometimes nice to reflect natural law in your art. Okay, I think that gives me a lot of room for some nice little leaves. And while I'm at it, I can go ahead and come right here with a nice dark brown and make sure this part of my little peach is darkened. And I go ahead and let this part touch some of the area around it, because there I do want it to bleed out. See how it softened that right there, but put it in? It's very peachy.
Very peachy.
Are you peachy today, babe?
I'm feeling it now.
Are you feeling peachy? I'm going to go ahead and just do my sap green here. This is a darker green. I actually prefer a phthalo green if you paint with me a lot, but I'm just playing with this palette today. So how I would get like a phthalo green is I would take my phthalo blue and a little of my azo and mix them together and see I get a, there we go, green or green. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Go this side with my green or green. And this is just, I can just use whatever I want. If I have too much pigment on my brush, I can always offload on a towel. I go right over where I painted that brown. And just painting this all in. Now to get the underside darkened the way I want, at first I'm going to paint it in with the green, and then when it's dry, I'm going to come back and darken it again one shade so that it is in shadow, and that will help bend the leaf. I'm going to get my brush a little wet and get more into my green and azo yellow. I'm going to make some different leaves. And they're just going to be little leaf shapes. It's kind of like a football being pulled into a black hole. Sorry. That's a very obscure scientific reference that won't help anyone visualize. I hear that vigorous switch. This me removing some pigment from my brush. As you can see, I'll dip back on my towel on occasion if I have too much. So that's always something nice I can do. And then I can come back and be like, a little more pigment here and there. But I just like to shake it up. Shake up the pigment. Making little leaves. Leaf practice is super fun. But basically what I'm saying is a leaf is rounded at the base and comes into a nice long point. Let's maybe say there's a little leaf sticking out here doing something. It can bend back like that. That's pretty, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm going to kind of rinse out my brush because I want it to be light. And maybe here at the tip, I'm going to make a very light leaf at first. I'm going to grab a lot of my azo and then make a little friend here. I think it can be fun. Let's do the sap green and a little azo, see how that's doing for us. I'll come and make this dark leaf. Dark leaf. Oh, how nice is this?
That's really cool.
Just happy little leaves being painted in our little happy trees. You can always say little leaves are sticking out anywhere you need to. Just go leaf, 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 leaf. Get my brush wet. Come here, plant another little leaf to grow out and capture some sunlight. Oh, I like watercolor painting. Just so fun. Now I'm making a nice wide turn and then I curve, giving my leaves some artiness. You gotta art your leaves up. A little azo. Changing it up. Get it off here. Get it right up to the washi tape. The tape is holding down my paper, which prevents buckling. It is a nice thing that you can do. I'm going to go ahead and get a little phthalo blue into here. Maybe make a nice little darker leaf. I have a stem here, and what's going to be interesting is I'll come here, make an even darker leaf, maybe that goes over this leaf. And that's sort of a fun wet into wet layering that I get to do. Isn't that neat how that does?
Yeah.
You can always bring some of that dark color if it's a surprise to everything over here. Now, I've got that dark color. Remember we talked about glazing?
Yeah.
Glaze it. Because if I take this dark color under the bottom, that helps bend out that leaf. I'm going to get my brush rinsed out, but I do think I'm going to use a green to sign because I think that'll look nice. I'm going to come right here, maybe right here, and sign my piece in this little green. All right, that's all it takes. I hope you sign your piece. Is it a peach? I hope you like your peach. I hope your peach is juicy. My peach is.
That's
I have
really
decided
great.
it. What, babe?
That turned out great.
Did it?
Yeah.
These are fun little things, aren't they? I know you're going to be painting these all over your ATCs. If you don't know, ATCs are artist trading cards. It's kind of like adult pen pals with art. So
Yeah.
John likes to do those, and I like to give him ideas of what he could do for the swap. I want you guys to be very good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Keep painting. Keep believing in yourself. Let us know what you think of things in the comments. We read all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to see you inside the studio really soon. Bye.